Hi, welcome back. Now we are going to talk about optimizing your content. We've already discussed how to optimize yourself above the fold. Now we are going to discuss once the people have been caught on your above the fold content, once they've seen who you are, what you do and how you do it, then only will they start scrolling down and to start getting to know you better. And the aim of your content is to build the know, like, and trust factor. Firstly, that is your aim. The second aim of your content should be to move your prospect or your customer from the one step in the customer journey to the next step in the customer journey. That should be your ultimate aim. So, as I say, the main thing is to build a know, like, and trust factor. Now, why? You know, after those horrible 2 years that we just had, a lot of people were forced online that they never really used to be there, and they became a little bit more comfortable, and they realized that there are other people just like them on the internet and they would love to do business with them. I mean, they started their own little communities. People from America and Europe got together, and it was all a good party. But now the thing is, people are a little bit more confident in venturing out online, but before they actually do and connect with people, they would look first who they are. And there are obviously ways that you can see what type of person they are, and the best way to do that is through Facebook, because that's something we are all familiar with. It is something that we've used for years to spy on our ex and see what they were doing, or to see who this person is that just walked into the restaurant or whatever. I mean, there's so many things that we used to use Facebook for that we are so comfortable actually with trusting the information that we see on Facebook if we see the right information. Obviously, you can pick up a spammy person very quickly, and you know, this is another reason why the familiarity of Facebook is so amazing, is because you can look at someone and you can immediately see, no, I don't want to be your friend, cheers. But unfortunately, there are very clever people, and you have to go a little bit deeper into their profiles to see who and what they actually are. And for us as digital marketers, your content on Facebook, if you use Facebook as your hub, which I highly recommend, is essential to build that know, like, and trust factor, because it shows that you are just a normal human being. It shows that you are just a regular Joe that has learned something and found a way of making money online, and you are now sharing it. And that is the main thing. People want to know you're a relatable person, that you're a real person, that if there's an issue, they can come to you. They don't have to now wait and hang on a customer service phone call and wait for someone to talk to. They can come straight to you for that. So this is what your aim is with the content that you are producing. How do we do that? It's actually very simple. There is a very simple framework that you can follow. Now, depending on who shows you this framework and who teaches it and who's your mentor, there are different frameworks. They've got cool names like the EPIC framework or the HEART framework, or some people don't even call it this HAQQA or whatever. I mean, whatever you want to call it. But there are specific types of posts that you can write to get people to know, like, and trust you a little bit more. And that is what I'm going to handle. However you post them, that's entirely up to you, but you don't have to follow a specific framework with them necessarily. But as long as you have at least one of these posts per day, then and you are working towards a common goal. I'm going to do a separate part as a bonus at the end of this course on content creation, because that's something that a lot of people seem to struggle with. So I'll give you some tips and tricks on that. But to start off with, let's start with the bunch of different types of posts that you should write. So the first type that you should write is a value post. Now, the first time I heard the term a value post, I wasn't quite sure what it was, and I thought, okay, I'll need to bring some value, but I didn't understand which value I had to bring. So my value posts when I was doing e-commerce never actually gave anyone any value whatsoever, so I didn't grow. Eventually, I've learned how to add value in a post, and you basically, once you know who your customer avatar is, who your customer is, and let's say, for instance, they want to make money online, and you give them a list of the top 10 things to do to start, or to find something, and you give them a top 10 list, and it's actually something that brings value to their journey, something that they can actually use, then you've added value to their life. Then you've given them something that they needed, something that they didn't know. The reason why you do these sort of posts is because you want to put yourself as an authority in your specific niche. And by the way you do that is by teaching people stuff like I'm doing now. It's not to build authority for me, but this is how you do it. If you can tell someone something that they did not know, then you are adding value to them, and then their perception of you becomes a little bit higher. So they then start seeing you as an authority because you are teaching them things. So this is basically what your value posts will do. It basically needs to show that you know your shit, you know what you're talking about. And when you tell them something, it's actually something they can use and implement and take and run with it, if you want to call it that. So the other post is a regular post, just a normal one. Hi, this is me, and going to the shop, doing this, buying nappies, whatever. The reason for that is because you want people to be see you sort of on as a normal person. When 2 years ago, when dropshipping became famous, and building a business online became a little bit more famous, you used to see these influencers and standing in front of their mansions and their cars and all these sort of things. And me as a beginner, I looked at it and said, oh wow, that would be nice, but I didn't think that I would get there. So for you to be able to get people into your circle, you need to be a relatable person. You need to be someone that's a regular average person, and that has now moved up a little bit because of what you've learned and what you know, but you still want to be a regular guy, a regular girl, someone that's lived a normal life. And this is basically the purpose of these posts, is to show that you are just a normal person. And these are necessary because it brings you back down to where you should be, and that's among the people. You basically, you want to be a regular person, you want to be approachable, and by making sure people understand that you are just a regular person, that will keep you approachable, and it will make it easier for them to approach you. So the other one is educational or mindset. Now, the reason why I say educational or mindset is because it can be either or. In this rotation, it doesn't have to be an educational one, and it doesn't have to be a motivational one. You can 1 week do the one week do the other one, but it has to at least be one of the two. Now, the purpose of these ones then, with the motivational one, you basically, this is a hard journey. It's tough to get out of your comfort zone, to be in a new field, to really start building something for yourself, or to try building something for yourself. So it is quite a challenge, and if you can get people's mindset right, and you can help them and fortify their minds against all the challenges that they will be facing, and make them understand that failure is just part of the process, and they are going to face challenges, but the whole thing is to just keep on going, to have that grit. If you can inspire people and motivate them to keep going, it really helps, and they will really start getting not a soul connection with you, but also they will appreciate you so much more, because you are motivating them to be better, to be more, and people feel good about that if you motivate them and they actually start achieving stuff. And sometimes people really start looking forward to those posts because it's their little bit of sunshine in their otherwise dreary lives, sometimes, sadly. Then the educational side is very similar to value, but it's not necessarily where you add specific knowledge in your niche. It is more like you want to educate them around a specific subject that they might not know exists, not necessarily know exists, but you want to tell them about something. You want to change their perception about a certain subject. Let's say, for instance, just for example purposes, they've never believed in crystal healing, and now you write a post that's very compelling with some evidence, and they change their mind, say, okay, maybe this is something that I could look into. That's an educational. When you educate them around a specific subject to change their mind about how they thought things worked, or how they saw something, and how you would like them to see something. That's the key. So you want to change their perception around something to see it a way that you see it. Now, that is what the educational post is then. So those are the two ones. And as I said, I mean, you have your different types of posts. Once you have them, you can basically just go through them on a weekly rotational basis. And with the educational and mindset ones, again, you can then decide 1 week this one, 1 week that one, 2 weeks this one, 1 week this one, however you want. Then the other one is a conversational one. So you basically leave an open-ended question. You ask a question, you ask for feedback, you do something which gathers engagement, because you want to get people engaged with you. And not just that, I mean, while you're busy working on your avatar, you can pose a question on your Facebook profile, like, if you were this person, what would you think about that? Or how would you respond to this situation? And you basically invite them to share their opinions. This can be very valuable because you can get to know your followers a lot better through learning how they see things, how they think about stuff. And this is the purpose of this post, is to try and pull that information out of them so that you can get a better understanding of the people that you are serving at the end of the day. And by understanding that, you will be able to serve them better. So now that is the conversational post. You leave it open at the end, you ask a question, you invite conversation basically. So now the next ones that we are going to look at is a call to action or results. Now this is the same as educational or mindset. You can rotate them, do one the 1 week, one the next week, however you prefer to do that, but it can be either one of the two. Now, a call to action is when, let's say for instance, you offer a product or you offer a mentorship or a masterclass and say, I am doing a masterclass at the end of the week. 3 people give me hashtag me if you are interested in access or whatever. Something like that, where you tell people, if you want this, yeah, press this button or comment me down below. And you're basically telling them to take an action. And the cool thing about this post, this is your most valuable post when it comes to making sales, because this should ideally be for the last step in your customer avatar's sales journey. When you get to a point where your customer is now a warm prospect, and then you put out a call to action and say, if you are interested in the product that I have to sell, then take action by commenting me down below. And then you take the conversation further, you take them into a Zoom call, you go into the DMs, whatever the case may be. But this is the call to action where the prospect moves into the next step, because you have given them that opportunity. You have said, you've warmed them up throughout your content to get to a certain point. Your content has been doing the job. They are ready. They're on the fence. They're like, oh, should I, shouldn't I? And then you do call to action and they're like, done, I'm in. And this is the purpose of this post, is to convince them, okay, now is the right time, to push them over that edge of making the decision. And a lot of times people need that little bit of just a push. They are ready. They are so ready, but just they want something to say, okay, do it now. And then your post comes up and then they do it. And this is how you move them from that last step from a lukewarm to a warm, and then you can hopefully eventually make the sale from that. So this is your call to action post. Really powerful stuff. So use it wisely, use it sparingly. You don't want to have a different call to action every week. And that's why I say change it up. Don't do call to actions every week. The other one to call to action is your results post. Now, not always would you have a result, but if you or your students or your mentors or anyone has a result, to prove that this product that you are talking about, to prove that this concept that you're talking about, this direction or whatever, to prove that this is a good option, you can show results of people that has tried it and has succeeded, or people that has tried your product and loved it, people that has bought into the course and learned something new, or whatever. I mean, if someone has made money with or gained satisfaction from having your product, then it is definitely something that you should mention. That is unfortunately, well, not unfortunately, that is definitely something that you should mention and make sure that people are aware that your product is getting results. And then the last type of post that you are going to have is then a relatable post. Now, the relatable post is very similar to the regular post, but the relatable post is more that you basically want people to see that you are a relatable person. And that gives people the confidence again and the ability to approach you a lot easier. Once they can see that you're just a regular person, it's a lot easier to approach you and say, listen, I need some advice from you. When you are a person like Tony Robbins, a guy like me, I'm not going to go to him and say, listen, buddy, please help me out. But if it's someone that's just ahead of me, and that I can see is the same person as I am, it's a lot easier for me to then approach that person and ask them for advice, ask them for help, or whatever the case may be. So you want to keep people understanding that you are a relatable person, just a regular guy. Again, it can be something like, I'm going to the cinema with my family, and just take a picture of your lifestyle in a restaurant, or at home watching TV, or you and, well, yeah, whatever you want to do, just something that shows that you're just a normal, a regular person. So then how do you post these posts? When you post them, it's absolutely necessary to, well, not absolutely necessary, but it really helps if there's a picture of yourself at everyone. And I know everyone thinks, oh, I don't want to take pictures of myself. But the thing is, you have to. Again, it comes with down to the same point as why you have your name and your face on your above the fold of your Facebook profile. Is because people need to start seeing your face. It needs to be everywhere, because once people start recognizing you, they are going to consume your content a lot easier. When they start recognizing that your content is valuable and this is the person writing this content, then they're going to start putting those two together. And every time they see your face, they're going to stop and read your content, because they know that there's going to be some value coming from it. And that is why it's very important. And you don't have to every single time, but I would highly recommend keeping your face or a picture of yourself with every single post. You can add other pictures too, but at least one of yourself. Now, the other thing is post consistently. This is the main thing where a lot of people fail, and because it's so easy, it is easy to overlook. And the thing is, you have to be consistent. You have to keep going through these things, because you need to understand that your content is, at the end of the day, if you're using your Facebook profile as a business hub, your content is what's going to take these people further in their journey. And when you do create this content, you need to understand that this is the aim of it. You can't just write content because it's lovely and all that sort of stuff. You have to have a main goal that you are working towards. And you know that you're going to write a value post today, and you know that this is your end goal. So your idea is to write a value post that takes people through on the journey towards this end goal. And that is the aim of your content. And you know, there are a couple of things that you have to understand when posting content. Is you have to keep it real, keep it authentic. People want real. They don't want fake and glitz and glamour, well, not glitz and glamour, but like Instagram models and shit like that anymore, because people are false fatigue. They don't want to see things as bullshit anymore, because they've seen it enough and they know it's not true most of the time anyway. I mean, Facebook life is very different to real life. But at the end of the day, you want to make sure that people understand that your content is real. I don't have a flashy car. I don't do this. I don't do that. But I'm a real person. So that way you come across and you are an authentic person. And the best thing about it is, if you're authentic, you don't need to make up stories. You don't need to go look for good shots to take or whatever. You can just talk about your life. I mean, there are so many valuable life lessons that people learn throughout their lives, and there's so many other people that life lesson would mean a lot to. So be authentic, because your story can help someone else, and you would not know that unless you tell your story. So keep it real, keep it authentic, and keep it yourself 100%. That way you know your content and everything about you is going to be unique anyway. So keep it fun as well. I mean, you want to entertain people, you want to keep it lighthearted. Don't talk about conspiracy theories, don't talk about problems in the world. There's enough news and shit out there that gives people this information. You want to keep it nice and light. You want to keep it entertaining. You want to keep it valuable. You don't want to depress people. So keep it fun, keep it happy. And then when it comes to copywriting, this, as I said, I'm going to actually give you guys a bonus section on this itself, on just some tips on copywriting and how to make it easier. So I'm not going to spend too much time on this now, but the main thing is you want to have a hook, something that gets people to stop and read your story. Then you want to have the body where you flesh it out a little bit and explain where the hook comes from or why the hook. And then the last thing you want to do is you want to have a call to action to then say, come do this or whatever. As I mentioned before, like, people won't do something, they'll just keep scrolling unless you tell them to do something. So there should always be a call to action. Now, the whole aim of this whole procedure and writing your content is to manicure your timeline for Facebook. Now, once you've optimized now this whole thing, you're above the fold is looking spiffy, and people know exactly who you are and what you do. They start scrolling down, they read your content, and then they decide they know, like, and trust you. So this is your business hub that you need to pay attention to. And this becomes your storefront, basically, of, let's say, your online store is your Facebook. Your timeline is your storefront, basically. So you want to make sure that it stays neat and tidy and clean and all those sort of things. Change your settings and make sure that some random fucknut can't tag you in some stupid porn video that's been shared with like a million other people. You need to make sure that your timeline is, and you handle it as a sacred site. Everything that goes in your timeline needs to have a purpose, and it needs to have a reason to be there. You don't want crap there. So make sure that you manicure. I mean, you don't want to spend hours writing the best content ever, and then some dart tags you in a stupid post and it spoils everything. And it just manage your time better. And then it takes a couple of quick privacy settings and you won't have these issues. So that's what we're going to do in the more computer side of things. So thank you very much. I will see you guys in the computer section in the next lesson, and then we can show you there how to actually write the content as well. See you there.